starting. Teams has been weird. Recording started. G'day, folks. It's me, Greg. Welcome back. It's Friday. We're doing Friday Lunch and Learn, Fabricy Friday Lunch and Learning stuff, and we've got lots to talk about, as always. I got very little done during the week. Like I always promise I'm going to do all this cool stuff during the week, and then I never get it done. So I think I'm just never going to promise that again. I'm just going to do it while I'm talking, and hopefully I can keep it interesting enough so that you don't get bored while I'm doing boring things like creating SharePoint sites. But we'll work it out. We are working on our super awesome I can't think of the word I'm trying to think of. What is it? No, my brain stopped. It is super awesome though. A super awesome budget and forecasting flow. So we've got our budgets happening on the left. These are going to be all our budgets. We're going to talk about what they are today. We're going to consolidate our budget here. We're going to put it into a file store or something like that. We're then going to calculate some KPIs and metrics. That's this bit. We're going to then take all of that data, all of the forecasts and the consolidated forecasts and the KPIs and the calculations and all the bits and pieces. We're going to throw all that into bronze. We're going to do some conformance and standardization. We're going to do some enrichment. We're going to create a gold data set. And then we're going to visualize it, create some reporting. And that reporting is going to look great because we're going to use IBCS standard reporting solutions, visualizations. It's going to be amazing. We've already gone on a bit of a journey talking about all of this stuff. And so check out the previous sections. If you're not sure who I am, I'm Greg. And I am trying to help everybody get better at Fabric in lots of different ways. The trial's running out. That's the quick thing that I want to point out here. Trial's running out. So if the trial's running out, there's you should go and check out our section on unbelievable, unimpeachable. Unimpeachable's good, Shelley. Thank you for that help. Unimpeachable, I like. We have this page. It's at dealwatson.net.au fabric-jumpstart. And here's a picture of me with my thumbs up. I look like the Fallout guy. But if you hit the play on that, it'll talk about what to do when your Fabric trial finishes, and then all the a cool report that tells you which thing you should buy and all that stuff. So we went through that a few weeks ago. So if you're wondering about your Fabric trial, because it's running out for me, so I guess it's running out for other people too. Although it did reset last time, fingers crossed we get another 20 days or whatever it is. Something to keep in mind. We spoke a lot about source control. We've spoken a lot about CI/CD. We've created source control integrated items, and you can see that Dataflow Gen 2s are not supported. We talked about that last week. And then I created a bunch of different stuff. I linked it to our tasks in our task flow, which I quite thought was cool. And that's where we're up to. So we designed our solution, kind of. We've got an end-to-end flow. We know what we need to build. Now we really just got to build it. And the first thing that we're going to build, like I said, are these budget, and they're going to be spreadsheets. Now, this can be not just any old spreadsheet. This can be Anaplan or some other budgeting tool that you might have, SAP or something like that, right? So there's all sorts of different tools out there that you could use for budgeting. You have budgeting in Xero is another way you could pull budgeting data out. Under this scenario, our finance people like Excel, and no matter what we do, we can't get it away from them, even with a crowbar. So they're going to do all their budgets in Excel. And so it's a multi-department scenario. We've got 4 different departments. Each one of those departments are going to have their own budget. So some of the bits that I actually did do this week, I did actually do some work this week, and I found us a budget template to use. Because we need a budget template. And I wanted to find one that looked a particular way, that had particular features. And I found one, and I'm so excited. This is created by someone called Danielle Stein Fairhurst. She's another MVP. She's cool. She's an Australian MVP. I'll show you the video where she created this, if I can find it. Oh, I just had it up on YouTube and now it's gone. Aha. Here she is. Danielle Stein Fairhurst. Go and check her out. This YouTube video is where she builds the rolling forecast in Excel spreadsheet. And then if you go to like the website down here, AFP, this is the something for financial professionals. She's a proper finance Excel person. She's from Plum Solutions. So shout out to Danielle. Appreciate the work that you do sharing this with the community, because we need this stuff so that we can build cool fabric solutions on top of it. So I'll put this link to the YouTube in the chat. That has the links to the various things to download all of the bits and pieces. I think Shelley already did it. Thanks, Shelley. Appreciate you. Cool. So it's a pretty cool spreadsheet. Check out the spreadsheet. Look what it's got. So here we're not just going to talk about IT services though. So we're going to change this. This is going to be our P&L. This is going to be our P&L. And then we're going to have all of our P&L codes, right? All the different accounts. And then we've got the different names of the different accounts. So that's nice. And then we have this, oh, I'm over in the wrong spot. Then we have our budget, total budget amount. She's got sparklines, loves sparklines, so that's cool. She talks about this in her thing. And then she's got her actuals. So these are her actuals, and I think they go from July 2021 all the way through to June 2022. So 12 months of actuals. But you can see that actually she's only up to February 2022, and then it turns into a budget. So she's got her actuals and then her budget for the remaining amount. So this is, I guess, one way you could do it. It's pretty cool. So here's the actuals here. And they just copied and pasted in these values right now. So we're gonna have to figure out, like, from a data perspective, what we probably are going to do is we're going to go and get this actual data from our data lake, right? And then we want to feed it into this Excel. And then we're going to get that actual data. Then the person is going to do their budgeting, and they're going to go, oh yeah, I reckon it's going to be, 182,000 in March and 222,000 in April or whatever for our salaries. Whatever budgeting methodology they use. And then she also has this cool forecasting thing happening down here. So she does a rolling forecast, right? Which is very cool. And she does it in a way which I quite like. She uses the this forecast.ets formula in Excel, max forecast. So this max is like, if it's less than 0, then she just makes it 0. That's what the max is for. So she does a forecast ETS on the numbers to get the forecast number for the next period. So that's what's happening here. Cool thing about this is she can like drag it across, and like she's got it set up so that it's anchored properly. Like these anchors are in place so that you can just do it as a rolling forecast. So I really like this. Really like this as a template for our budgeting and forecasting. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set up 4 of these, one for each of our departments, and they're going to have their own cost center codes. They might have some shared ones, like salaries is going to be the same cost center code, but they're going to have obviously different salaries. And then like different departments might have different other costs that they do, or profit and loss type things that they bring in. And then we're going to bring the actuals in, which is we've already got in our other spreadsheet. And then I'll have to do some attribution. So what I'll do is I'll break up the current actuals, which is just a big blob of actuals. This is all not real data. So we're going to attribute each of the actuals to the various departments, and then the departments will do their budgeting and maybe their forecasting as well. But I was going to do our original plan was, we were going to do just get the departments to do the budgeting, and then we were going to bring it together into another version of this spreadsheet, which will have everybody's consolidated actuals and budgets, and then we'll do the forecasting on that. So we'll do the forecasting on the consolidated, but we'll do the budgeting separately. That's the plan. Hopefully that makes sense. Shelley's put in the link directly to the AFP, which I think is where you can get the download for the spreadsheet. So that's what we're going to do. So each of our departments are going to do their budgeting in a spreadsheet. They're going to save that somewhere. So we're going to practice this right now. We'll just use it with this, because there's a few things we need to think about. We need to think about, how do we get the data out of this and into a Delta table in Fabric, right? And what do we need to tell? We want to shift left. So we want to shift all the responsibility for keeping these numbers correct to the finance people. I don't want to have anything to do with making sure that these are right. So we need to make sure that they can reconcile their stuff and get it right. And then all we do is just ingest whatever they give us. So a technique for doing that is to create a Power BI export tab. And I learned this from Lance. This is what Lance does. I'll find Lance's LinkedIn or something. He spoke at the, he's a finance guy. He spoke at the Power BI meetup a while back doing this kind of stuff, like three-way accounting models in Excel and Power BI. And for all of his models, all of his Excel sheets, he had the Power BI export tab. And that's to make life easier. And also to ensure that, so the person who creates the Excel then is also responsible for making sure that the export tab has the right data in it. And then you don't have to worry about it if you're the analysts. Dun, 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 it's just saved you a bunch of time and headaches for dealing with this kind of stuff. All right. So that's the plan and that's the idea. But we need to figure out, what is this Power BI export tab going to look like? Because we want it to be, and should we call it Fabric export? No, let's call it Power BI export. And then what is this? How do we get the data out of this or this, the forecast and the budget? And then also the only thing that kind of I'm worried about with this model is that the budget is only here for future. And we don't have the budget for the past. So I might augment the model. I might augment this slightly so that this has got actuals, and then this might just contain budget, and then this one down here contains the actual and the budget. So you can see this says budget. Yeah, maybe this does say budget. And that's actuals. It does. Okay, this is the budget. It's just this up here fooled me. Right, perfect. Okay, so we've got the budget for the whole year. Then we've got the actuals for what's happened so far. And then this one shows the actual, and then so the budget amount was 189,000. What we actually did was 123. So it shows the 123 until we get to budget land, because we haven't got any actuals, and then it shows the budget. So we could do some like variance analysis here and all this kind of stuff in Excel, but we're not going to do that. We're going to do it in Power BI and make it all cool. So we can capture the budget and the actual. So we want to capture all of this. We want to capture this table. We want to capture this table. We want to capture this table, the forecast table. That's all the data. So that's the data that's important to us. But this isn't the ideal. I mean, it's a pretty simple unpivot, I know. But in the ideal world, we would have, like, what would we have? We would have maybe account code. Then we would have description. Then we would have date. Should just be month, I guess. And then we would have value, and then we would have type. So if you've been messing around in Power BI for a long time, you know that this is what you want, right? You want something like this. 22222, description is salaries. The date is 1st of the 1st, 2021. Actually, you'd make it, so the day doesn't matter here, but we always do it at date granularity, and that's so that we can join a date table to it. That's why I do it that way, just in case you're wondering. Value is 182,344, and the type is budget. And then you go 22223, and then you go IT spending, and then this is 1st of the 1st. 1st of the 1st, 2021. And the value is 124,290, and this is budget. And then you go, and then you have the same for actual. And then you might have a forecast like this. So you get a table that's just like super easy to do. Now we got to do some Excel wizardry to make this into that. Or, so this is what I've been thinking about this week, and I haven't decided on the solution. So let me know what you think. Lance Rubin, thank you. Shelley, you're a legend. The person's name is Lance Rubin, for those of you that are watching on video. Um, the thing that I haven't decided is whether I use like a Power Query type thing. So I could like get data from here. I mean, probably what I'd want to do is turn this into a table, but I don't know if like or a named range or something like that. This is where I need some Excel gurus to if Win's here, Win, tell me what to do. Um, so I'd turn this into a name range or a table, and then I could like get it into Power Query using get from table range, like this kind of thing. And then, but I'd want the headers from up here because that's the dates. And then I'd unpivot it and then I'd put it in, right? That's one way to do it. But the problem with that is when I update it, it's not going to update the numbers. The person's going to save it. They're going to forget to refresh Power Query, and I don't like it. I want this to be cancel. I want this to be when Joe Blogs, the accounting person, goes, oh, actually, this is 124,230, that automatically also updates my Power BI value here. So I could do like a index matchy type thing. Anyway, this is a problem I'm not going to solve and bore you all right now. But if you've got ideas about this, chuck them in, because that's one of the challenges we need to solve. All right, X lookup. Maybe I can do an X lookup. Love X lookup. Actually, that's probably going to work, isn't it? Because then I can look up IT services and the date and then the number. Should I risk trying to do an X lookup live on thing? Maybe. I'll think about that in a sec. All right. So that's challenge number one, is building our multi-department budget spreadsheets with Power BI export tabs. And then we're going to turn this into a table because tables rule. And if you're not using tables, then learn to use them because they're the best. And so we're going to call this Power BI export. I wonder if there's, can I not, I can't have spaces, can I? Okay, so that's my Power BI export table. And then when I go and get it, so then I'm going to save this file, save a copy. I'm going to save it to a location. Let's find a location that's appropriate. Hang on a second. Let me go over here. Now, I tried to create a team earlier and Teams is broken. So I'm going to try it one more time while we're here. But Teams literally wouldn't let me create a team earlier, which isn't good. Okay. Teams plus create team. Couldn't complete the action. I cannot create a team in Teams today. Have I got too many teams? Have I done something wrong? I'm confused. So do I have a Friday fabric something or other? Surely I've got a fabric team already. No. Friday lunch and learn team. I haven't created a... I'm going to have to create Power BI training general. Okay, we're going to put it here. Oh, I'm an annoying bot to post it. Okay. I'm going to create... Okay, this is going to have to do. Going to have to do, folks. I will get back to the main screen in a sec. Sorry, I just have to do this offline. So if I sync this, Power BI training general, then in my OneDrive, I'm already syncing. Okay, great. New, hold up. Department budgets. Okay, I'm back. Oh, it's got a dialog box up. Yes. Okay, so I'm saving to, and this is going to be Office of the CEO. And the date, I guess. Guess we should do the date. 2024-08 28. No, 0628. 0628. I put the date in reverse order so that it's sortable. That's why I do that. And we're going to put it in our department budgets folder. Save. And we've got a few other budgets. So there'll be one of each for each one of our departments. I think one of them is the Office of the CEO. I can't remember exactly. So our Office of the CEO finance person is going to do all their finance for them. And then they're going to go File, Save, and it's going to save it into the Office of the CEO department budget folder. So now we've got a location, which is actually in OneDrive because I synced it to OneDrive. It's in Teams. And so here it is in Teams. And so I can copy a link to that from OneDrive. So that's now available to us inside up in SharePoint / OneDrive / whatever. Cool. So that's the first challenge. The second challenge is we now go over to our lovely Fabric environment. We look at our architecture. So we've got all these budgets. We want to bring those budgets in and consolidate them together using our Power BI export table. Okay. So we're going to create a data flow. Here it is, consolidate budgets data flow. We've already created it last week. It's empty. It's an empty data flow. I haven't done anything, literally done nothing with it. Why am I using a data flow and not Python or SQL or whatever? And the answer is because data flows are better at Excel. That is the only answer. All dates on a computer should be ISO 8601. What is this? What have you done to me here? Is that backwards sort date? Is that what we're talking about?
Yes.
Yes. I agree. It should definitely be backwards sort date. ISO 8601. There you go. I'll remember that. Awesome. Oh, this thing is in the way. Get rid of Wikipedia. Oh, get rid of that guy's face. All right. So we're gonna edit this data flow now. Amazing, making amazing progress already. Look how easy it is to build data solutions. Why do you guys take months and months? Just do this. Simples. Anyway, it's going to take me months and months to get those budget spreadsheets set up, I suspect. But anyway, yeah, so I'm going to use a data flow because it's easier. So also I have this whole thing where I like just prototyping everything in data flows first because it's the best UI for data transformation in the whole world. And why would I use anything else? That's my story and I'm sticking to it. So let's get some data out of an Excel workbook. I'm going to connect to OneDrive. I'm going to hope that my OneDrive is synced and that I can get access to it. I probably should have copied a link or something to it from last time. There's all this crazy stuff in OneDrive. But I have to pick the file. Can't I go to a path? Oh no, what have I done? So can I not get to a team site? Oh, look at all these files. I have to put it in my own OneDrive. Surely. I can just, is this path going here? Is that, oh, it's a C path. Okay, wait. We need to find the actual path to that file. It was in Teams. Here's Teams. The other teams. This guy. Copy link. If I just say copy link, and then I go here and I paste link. Oh, use Control V. It has a paste option. Another UI thing from Microsoft. Thank you very much. Why does this even exist if I can't use it? Use Control V. Okay, thanks. Okay, Control V. Oh, it's the local path. So that didn't work. The local path, it gave me the local path. Oh, here's the link. But, okay, copy the link. Okay, that's copied now. Okay. Is that going to work? I don't know. Create a new connection. Yes. No data gateway. Authentication, organizational account. Greg Nash, because I'm accessing an organizational SharePoint. Let's see if it works. I reckon this has got like a 50% chance of working. Invalid session credentials. I knew it wasn't going to work. I knew it was going to be annoying. That's because this path it supplied me is not really the right path. This is a different kind of path than what you think. So what you have to do is go open in SharePoint and then go to this path. And I think that will work. That's my guess. Select it all, delete it, Control V. Authentication time, Greg Nash, go. I'm hoping. Invalid session credentials. Okay, that doesn't work. Get data from the web. I'm going to try all the different ways I know to connect to data inside different platforms and see if it works. SharePoint folder? SharePoint folder's no good though. Well, that might work. SharePoint online list, SharePoint folder, SharePoint list. No. OneLake Data Hut. See, I should have just put it into OneLake. But no, I'm determined to do it this way. Because this is the way everyone else will have to do it. Well, you probably will have to do it at some point. View more. Okay. Is OneDrive there? No. It's SharePoint.content. I know how to do it in desktop. SharePoint.content. Excel.something. SharePoint.content. I think SharePoint folder will work. Let's try it. Session credentials? Or is it going to work? Please work. Request failed. Am I just having horrible network issues or something? Is that why? Definitely logged in.
Try connecting to the top level folder.
The top level site, right? Yeah.
And then navigating down from there.
No, okay, let me try that. So I'm doing everything. So what Shelley's saying here is sites / then just the top level folder because we're connecting to a SharePoint site. It looks like it's errored out, so I have to copy that out and cancel and start again. Please work, third time lucky. More SharePoint folder. This is what I get for saying that creating data solutions is easy. Create a new connection, connect with your organizational account, go. No whammies. Okay, we're going to just create. There's a bunch of stuff in here that we need to get out of it, that we need to navigate properly later.
And now you can change it to SharePoint.content.
I can do this, right? Yeah. And then put in my actual, I've got to find the URL again. This one. Shared documents. Let's just try down to there. Oh, I'm really bad today at navigating. What happens if I put the... Is that going to work? No. Okay, so it does have to be the top level site for sites, for files. Oops, went too far.
SharePoint.content singular or SharePoint.contents plural? Because you had singular.
I thought it was contents. Content. I thought that was right. Like it is here. So here it is. And then here's the folder path, the full folder path.
Honestly, my normal approach in this is to do the painful navigation and filtering to find the file I want, figure out what the end path is, and then paste that back into the first step and then delete the additional steps that I've done to get there.
Well, you can do it with Excel workbook like directly as well, I thought. But like if we take this folder path here, which is this one, and then we put the name of the Excel file at the end, it should just work. But I don't know. Let me try one more time with the old traditional Excel workbook. File path or URL? That's the file path. Connection. Yeah, that'll do. Go. What error is it going to throw to me? Okay, didn't like that. Try again. Invalid session credentials. Okay, weird errors. Okay. Love data flows. They're the best.
Another
All right,
option
well,
of
I'm just going to give up and I'm going to do this for now and I'll fix it later. We'll call this Office of the CEO budget. I need a OOC underscore budget. And look, we've got a bunch of different tables and there's a table called Power BI Export. That's the one I need. See, look at this. It says excel.workbook and then it just passes in the navigation from the SharePoint. I can clean all this up and I'll make it nice and better. Anyway, we got to our table. Here's our table that was in our Excel spreadsheet. So we did it, even though it was a bit weird. So that's that table there. We've got a table. And then we're going to have, so would I create one data flow to do all of them, or will I create multiple data flows? One each. I think I'll just do one to create all of them. And then we're going to set our data destination down in the right here to a lakehouse table. Now, I don't think I've got a lakehouse in this workspace yet, do I? Let me just publish that for now. Oh, I do. Aardvark Finance Lakehouse. Well, that's our gold data set lakehouse though. Oh, we were speaking about lakehouses and gold data sets and bronze data sets. Okay. So we need a lakehouse to put it in. We've currently got one lakehouse and it's linked to our gold data set, but we're going to relink it to our bronze data set because we'll make this our bronze lakehouse. And so we should rename this settings. So I'm working, it looks like, according to the documentation from Microsoft, that you create one lakehouse per thing. What is that? Medallion spot.
I think they also recommend one workspace per medallion level as well.
I don't know. So this is where I'm not sure because it doesn't kind of make sense because then you start to get, you need a dev, test, and prod workspace for your dev, test, and prod bronze, dev, test, and prod silver, dev, press. It doesn't, it's too much. I think it's too much.
Agreed. But
So my recommendation is don't create multiple workspaces because you want to have this is our collection of all of our content here. And we're just going to have bronze, silver, gold here. And then, yeah, otherwise you just end up creating a ridiculous number of workspaces. Web as source. Matt was saying use web as source with OneDrive. That was what I was going to do next if none of that other stuff worked. That's normally how I did it in the past, but I thought SharePoint had gotten better, but it hasn't. Anyway, I've got to look up some videos on how people are doing that. Okay, so we've got our bronze workspace. So now what we should be able to do back in our unsupported consolidate budgets, bronze data in data flow, we should be able to set the data destination to the bronze lakehouse. Now I know it's not doing anything other than just bringing a single spreadsheet in, but we want to just get the basics. We're wiring up the basics here. Okay, it's going to be a lakehouse. Create new connection. What? I want to connect. It always confuses me, this piece. So I guess okay, to the lakehouse. Okay, let's use a connection to the lakehouse. Do I get to save the lakehouse next? Is that what's going to happen? Waiting. Oh man, it's taken forever. Please work. Invalid session credentials. What's going on with my session? Okay. Sign me in over here. Oh God, what's happening? OAuth 2? That didn't work. Let me try this again. Feel like everything broke. Lakehouse. Edit connection. Switch account. Sign in. Okay, the redirect worked that time. Okay, next. Okay, it worked that time. I just needed to re-sign in. Lovely. Aardvark Finance. New table or existing? Where's my? Can I choose my lakehouse or? Are these all my lakehouse? These aren't all lakehouses. These are workspaces. Oh, it's dev, not finance. Finance is prod. Here we go. In the bronze lakehouse. And we're going to create a new table. It's going to be called OOC budget. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. Next. You may have noticed just quickly, there's another lakehouse. Data flow staging lakehouse. So when you create a data flow, it creates its own lakehouse. It's stupid. There's all these artifacts that get created when you create like endpoints and staging lakehouses and stuff. They get created in Fabric. I think they hide them in the UI these days, but yeah, that's why that says a second lakehouse there. Okay. OIC budget. And then we're going to do our mapping, account codes, a whole number. That's fine. Descriptions of text. Yeah. Date's a date. Values, not a whole number. It's going to be like a decimal number. I don't want to use automatic settings. I want to select it myself. Value is going to be currency. Type is going to be text. Update method. Look at this. Existing data, new data. Okay. Do we want append or replace? So this is interesting. So if you wanted to set it up so that it automatically threw the latest one at the bottom, and then you could write, if you wanted to keep it like a type 2 style, like you're creating a whole new set of information every time, then you could hit append. But we don't want to do that. We want to replace it each time. Schema on publish, dynamic. Existing or fixed. Dynamic's good. So that means particularly for Excel, that means if the table changes, like the schema, the table columns change, it's not going to break. It's not going to be like, oh, you've got a schema problem type thing. So you want your schema to be dynamic, I guess. Some column names contain unsupported characters. Oh, it's got a space in it. Okay, let's fix it. So you can't have unsupported characters. So you need to create that. That's a limitation of Parquet format. Parquet being the CSV on steroids that Fabric changes this into when it creates a table. Okay. Ta-da! We've got our budget table, our Power BI export table from our first thing. I know it's very short right now, but don't worry, I'll fix all that up. It's going straight into our lakehouse and publish. Lovely. We're on our first step to consolidating budgets. So what I'll try and do is I'll wave a magic wand over the other budgets because I'm just going to do the same thing over and over again, right? So I'm going to completely redesign this with all the correct numbers in it here and all the correct account codes. Then I'll redo some extra we've got some actual, so I'll do that, and then I'll put some budgets in. I'll just make up the budget numbers. I'm not sure how I'll do that yet, but I'll put some extra budget numbers in. Then I'll set up the Power BI export tab to work the way that I want it to work using X lookups and stuff. And then I will publish the 4 budgets, and I'll create 4 data flows, just like we've done just then, except I'll do it the proper way and I'll get it nice and set up so that it's all good. Look, we've got a change to our lakehouse. It's uncommitted now because we now need to put that back into source control. So we'll do that. Actually, what we should do is we'll commit that back in and then we'll have a look at what gets created inside source control. That's interesting. So I'll do that in my spare time. I promise I'll do it. I know I said I wouldn't promise to do this stuff, but this is stuff I have to do offline because it's way too boring to watch me mess around in Excel. We'll create our consolidated budget. So then what I'll do when that's done, we'll come back to that data flow, this consolidate budget data flow, and we'll properly consolidate those budgets using Power Query to transform it. Then we'll end up with one table called the consolidated budget data flow output table or something like that. I'm not sure. Or I'll create a second data flow. So I might have an ingest data flow and then a consolidate data flow. I haven't decided what I'm going to do yet because that would be a better way to do it, because that would be then kind of bringing it into bronze and then consolidate it maybe in silver and then bring it back out. I don't know. I've got to think about that. Then when it's consolidated, we'll build the forecasting and the calculation, consolidated forecasting and calculation spreadsheets. So that's what we're going to do at this early stage. All right, we have a plan. The plan is going to work. Let's have a look at our source control. We're going to commit these changes back to our source control. That's going to take it back into Azure DevOps. And then we're going to open it up on our local machine. And we're going to see what files get created because we've now got a whole lakehouse in here. So we'll go to source control here. And we're going to commit this change. And we're going to say added consolidated data flow data table. So it's a consolidate. We added the, what was it? The OO Office of the CEO _ budget table. Wasn't the consolidated table. Okay, commit. Committing to main. Your selected changes were committed. And so we don't have any changes. So what's happening in the DevOps world? Let me log into DevOps. Here's my repo. Hopefully I can just yoink, bring it back here now. And I'll open GitHub for Windows, my favorite. Hey, look at that. So we've got a commit that's just happened on our lakehouse. Added OOC budget table by Greg Nash. Thank you very much. We've got a bunch of different things that are happening. So that repo is now up to date. And so if I come back here, this is my lovely Git repo. I've got some changes that I haven't actually committed yet, which is interesting. I moved something, that's right. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to fetch origin. That's going to go and get the latest stuff. I've downloaded some new things. I don't want to see changes. Let's have a look at the repo. How do I just look at the current state of the repo? Go to summary. I'll just commit these changes. Moved something on the report. Okay, pull 2 commits from the remote. Yeah, so I've got to pull. So this is saying there's commits in main that don't exist on my machine. So that's those changes I made to the lakehouse. Okay, and so I've got to pull these back in. And then I've got local commits that I haven't put, which was that move that I made. And so I'm going to push that back up. So see, you've got this like push pull, like this. What this is doing from a version control perspective is it's making sure that you're getting the latest version of the code before you push your changes back up into the code, so that if there's a merge, what's called a merge conflict, where you've changed something and somebody else has remotely changed something, you resolve it now instead of down the track you find out that you've overwritten something incorrectly or whatever, right? So you resolve merge conflicts like that. So that's what we're talking about with that stuff. Let's show the repository in Explorer. So you can see now we've got in our local version of the repository, we've got this lakehouse, and let's see what gives us. It just gives us this metadata.json file that tells us information about the lakehouse, I guess. I don't know. Data flow, staging, lakehouse, warehouse. There's the PBIP file. It's weird that it doesn't have anything. Oh, it's this .platform file. Doesn't have anything in it, so didn't really, me creating that table didn't really change the code of the lakehouse, did it? Which is interesting. Hey, new PBIR format too. There it is. I wonder, that's what I'm interested in understanding is when we make changes to remote code, how does it affect our local repository? And then like what gets stored in the repository? So if we lose everything, how is it going to know? How does it know what the table structure of this lakehouse is or whatever, so we can rebuild it? Because that looks like nothing. It's got nothing in it. Interested to know. Let's fetch origin again and see if that, have I not done something like I need to commit something else? But no, maybe not. All right.
Is your uncle a
Cool. Someone's very soft if they're talking. I can't hear you.
Oh, fantastic.
Oh, sorry, Nathan. Hang on.
So you're gonna go take him to the shop and then pick it up, okay?
Oh, are you there? Or are you speaking to someone else?
Awesome.
I think he's on a call.
Oh, cool. Oh, yeah, everyone else is really loud. All right, I'll just mute him. Right, cool. That's nice. Okay. Apologies for that. Okay. Lovely. All right, so interestingly, what does it look like in this repository? There's a .platform and a metadata.json, and it's got nothing in it. Okay. Created the finance lakehouse. So the commit hasn't happened from, I would expect to see another thing here saying created the table. Oh, created the budget table. It is there. Here it is. Except it's got no schema. Okay, so the commit is there, but it only changed the .platform file. And the only change was actually the rename of the actual table. So does that mean Lakehouse tables don't, like metadata about Lakehouse tables don't get saved? So if all of this got blown away, like if I accidentally delete my Lakehouse here, whoops, accidentally deleted it, click delete. It's not going to remember. Am I going to get my tables back when I restore it? Should we try this and see what happens? Because how does it know about this? Oh man, we got to do some investigating. Okay, I'm going to go and have a look at some questions. What's a lakehouse? Says Anaya. Oh, Excel matches. Shelley's been doing some Excel in the background. Nice work, Shelley. We'll play around with that. Equals, you're doing a index, or like a match. Yeah, cool. Inaya says, what's a lakehouse? A lakehouse is a thing in Microsoft Fabric that is going to store all of your data, basically. It's a data lake and a data warehouse all mixed together. There's lots of information about these things if you're looking up kind of Fabric, getting to know what is Fabric and that kind of stuff. So yeah, that's what a lakehouse is. So this lakehouse here is going to be basically a big collection of tables stored in files. So it's, oh look, there's pending updates from Git. Okay. Oh, this is the change that I made to the budget versus actual. Yeah. So we do update. That's cool. So it notifies me when someone else has changed something and says, hey, wait till you're synced. And now we're nicely synced so we can safely edit this report or whatever. All right. So I'm really curious to know what happens. I guess because the files, the actual data itself is stored in OneLake, right? Is it in Friday.lakehouse? No, that's a different lakehouse. Do I need to sync this? I can't remember where I saved this. Wouldn't my workspace with the new lakehouse appear here? Shouldn't there be an Aardvark Finance Dev workspace appearing in my OneLake sync? I thought it should. Yes. Oh, there it is. It just appeared. Huh, cheeky. All right. So the table's there and it's in file format. Yeah, so this is how it stores the files in IR. So this is Parquet file. It's like a CSV file, except weird. So if you look at the actual file, it doesn't make a lot of sense. It's not like readable like a CSV file. We'll open it in Notepad++. Get this kind of thing. Crazy. It's like, but it's not human readable, but it's very machine readable and super fast and awesome. So that's so the tables that get created in your lakehouse just get stored as files. Just like that. So our little Excel here, this Excel Power BI export table that we created has turned into this Parquet file here with all these crazy characters and stuff. You can see it's got salaries and IT spending, see? And account code and that kind of stuff. So the data is in there, but it's in a weird format. So that's what lake houses do. And so, but it's super fast at data processing. That's what we want it for. We want to be able to process this data fast. So we're going to bring all that stuff into our lake house. We're going to consolidate it. We're going to create our thing. That's going to be Greg's homework. What else can we talk about? I think that's kind of, what have I got on here? SharePoint, data flows, CI/CD sharing. All right, so the last thing that we can cover, we've got a couple of minutes left. Last thing we'll cover is we're going to create another developer workspace. So we've got Greg's developer workspace, GN development. Here it is. What I'm going to do is I'm going to branch. This is going to be an interesting experiment. We're going to create a branch, and then we're going to we're going to sync our Git repository to this branch of this developer. So Greg, the developer, can work totally independently of everybody else. It's going to be great. How do we do that? First, we need to branch the thing. So I guess we have to go to branches. We have a main branch. That's Greg. So if I click a new branch, and I'm going to call this feature. What feature are we going to add? We're going to add a I will just create a report. Add report 01 feature based on main. Now it's all in lowercase, so I'll call this the report 01 lowercase. And then you can link work items if you're using the other parts of Azure DevOps, which is like Kanban boards and tasks and stuff. You can link those tasks to this feature. We should give it a number, 0001 report 01. Right, so this is my branch. So that's going to create a complete copy of all of those objects, and it's going to push it into its own version here. So theoretically, what I should be able to do, and I don't know how to do this, so I'm going to learn. Upload, browse, new. How do I do Git integration again? Thought I would do it here. Manage access, workspace settings. That's right. You do it over here. Git integration. Here it is. And we're going to go to our lovely Metro Holographics. Friday Fabric. There it is. Git repo is the Friday Fabric Git repo, and the branch is now report 01. Connect and sync. Syncing. So I guess a whole copy of everything will happen here. Look at it go. It's copying everything. How cool is this? Guess what it's not going to copy? It's not going to copy the data flows Gen 2 because that isn't supported. I'm also really interested to see if this, how this looks. And oh my goodness, yeah, the data flow. Let me guess. I can't update the data flow Gen 2. Data mart not found. Data flow staging warehouse. Ooh. Well, branch syncing isn't the best, is it? Okay. So what did it actually sync? Hey, look, it didn't bring in the report either. Oh my God, it's broken. It might have been that I might have done this a bit early and that it wasn't. See how source control there's already updates? It might be that it needed some time. Yes, it might be that it needed some time. Oh, so it's got changes as well. Oof. Yeah, I reckon I went a bit early there. Probably should have given it a bit more time. So what am I going to do? I'm going to unsync it and then resync it. Hopefully that'll work. No, disconnect. Okay, so that's been disconnected from the Git branch. That means all these things are now independent objects. They're not synced to anything, so I can just delete them all. Can I delete? This is going to be harder than I thought, isn't it? I'm not going to just be able to simply delete things. Oh, it just won't let me delete. Oh, there we go. Okay, that deleted that. And then I should be able to delete one of these two. And hopefully delete this warehouse. Right, we're back. We now have an empty thing. Now we'll try again. Git integration. Metro Holographics. Friday stuff. Friday Fabric. Git repositories Friday Fabric. The branch is new branch. Connect. Let's see what happens this time. Yeah, so I think I broke it because, oh God, still the same problems. But anyway, we'll see what happens. That time it didn't sync anything. It might be that see if this works. Okay. I think it's too early to do branching and merging in Power BI based on Fabric, based on my experience so far. This looks all kinds of broken. Okay, I'll have to play around and see if we can get that to work, because that's a shame. It'd be nice if that worked. The idea being that then I can just work on my own stuff and then merge it back in later. But I've obviously cooked it. Lucky I didn't break the source branch. Or maybe I did. Hopefully I haven't. Hopefully that should do nothing to our other branches. So that should do nothing to this. No, it doesn't have any source control update. So there's no changes. So that's all okay. This is all fine. Just that other branch is cooked at the moment. All right, we'll have to play around with that. Yes, I know.
Based on a screenshot that Doi, and apologies for getting your name wrong there, has put in the chat, it looks like this is a reported issue.
Reported issue. Oh, cool. Okay. Oh, look at that. Can't use the Git solution. Data flow in one namespace repository. When you use a repository in another empty workspace, there'll be an error in sync. Yeah, but they just released like a blog post.
I think Greg may have killed his teams. You're back with us, Greg, but you're on mute.
I'm back. I promise I'm back. Sorry, everybody. I accidentally hit the leave button because it's right next to the stop sharing button. There was a blog post that said you can do branching and merging and all those cool stuff. And so I thought I'd be safe. But you're never safe with these new features. You're never safe. Okay, so stay away from branching for a while until I tell you it's fine. No, don't do that. Keep trying until it works. It could be that I kind of broke everything when I deleted and did that stuff. So that could be my fault. Wonder what happens if we try and branch to a whole new workspace. That's my last experiment I might do. But I'll do all that offline. We've run out of time anyway. All right, bit of a fizzle out at the end there. Apologies, everybody, but we'll be back soon. So we'll be back next week with more things. So next week we're going to have super cool budget spreadsheets ready for us to do super cool things with. And so I'll go through in detail a bit more about what those budget spreadsheets are and how they work. I'll use Shelley's fix there. That'll be nice. I'll make all of that happen, and then we'll go through the process of creating that consolidated. We'll go into bronze with consolidate and then do some consolidation. We're going to use data flows. We're going to publish those data flows up. We're going to get all that nicely working. And we're going to be a lot of the way there. We're going to then do our forecasting. I'll try and get the forecasting spreadsheet set up as well. If I can get all the spreadsheets done, then you won't have to worry about watching me do that. And we'll be ready to build our cool other bits, which is going to be, getting into Power BI, building some nice visuals. And then we'll be almost done. Oh my goodness, it's been a few weeks, this one. All right. Oh, supporting Dataflow Gen 2. Yes, Dataflow Gen 2 definitely doesn't work. All right. Well, that's it, folks. Thanks for the session. It's good to see you all. We'll hopefully see you next week. We're going to continue on. It is school holidays next week, and I used to take breaks during school holidays, but I'm not going to. I'm going to power on until we finish the series, which isn't too far away. Only maybe a couple more weeks to go, assuming I can get my spreadsheets sorted out. So things will develop quickly after that. All right, everybody, have a great week. And
what about the recording?
The recording stopped? No, the recording's here. Should still be going. Yes, it's still going. The recording will be available on YouTube soon, but I'll also, what I can do, and I'm going to do it for Andrew, I think it was, missed the previous recording. So I'm going to put some links to the old recordings in the chat after we get off the session here. So if you stay in the chat, it'll be there and you can watch the playbacks. All right. See you next week, folks who are on the recording. I'm just stopping now.